I mentioned Molly earlier, Molly from New Economics Foundation. Molly can introduce New Economics Foundation, but we're really delighted to be working with them. Really prestigious think tank, doing loads of great work around visualizing a new economics for our society. Some of you may remember Ed Mayo, who's presented way back at Swoboda research events and was Secretary General of Cooperatives UK. Ed Mayo was a founder member of New Economics Foundation, and it's an organisation we've always admired and who have actually worked with Swoboda, with Paul at Liverpool John Moores over the years as well. So I'll hand over to Molly.
Great. Thank you all. Nice to see you all. Glad to be here. I think Nick has done I don't need to bore you with exactly who I am, but I am a senior researcher at the New Economics Foundation, and it's been great collaborating with Swoboda over the last few months, and we've got about a year and a half to go on this research project. So this next session, what's standing between you and lunch, is an interactive session focusing on innovation, the theme of the conference. And I'll just note before we begin that I will be asking you to use Mentimeter, which is an online engagement tool. So you will have to use your phones, but I please ask that you keep your focus in the room. I'm asking you to look at your phones, but not check your email. Don't check out. I facilitated a session at a youth club earlier this week, and the teenagers were really good at listening to this, so I'm hoping this room will also stay nice and focused. So over the next 40-ish minutes, we're hoping to reflect on what innovation looks like in a cooperative context and within credit unions. I think most importantly, we're looking to learn from each other and have some stimulating conversations. I think the amount of conversation that was happening during the break is really illustrative of how much you all have to say and share, so we can hopefully pick up on some of that energy. And then the third aim is selfish, and as Nick said, our aim is to capture some of the insights from this session, which will feed into the United Vision research project. So I'm welcoming you right now, but soon you'll have a chance to keep talking and do a pair and share activity, which I'll talk you through. And I think lots of you know each other in this room, but hopefully there's someone that you don't know. And so in the pair and share, I encourage you to turn around, find someone who you don't work with, whose face may be new to you, to get to know them. And then we'll spend the bulk of the time on a design sprint. So we'll be using an innovative design thinking approach to start thinking about some tactical and tangible solutions to some of the challenges that the sector is facing that you will come up with. And so to start off, if you can take your phones out and scan this QR code, I want your help in defining innovation. So hopefully this works. And you should get redirected. If the QR code doesn't work, you can also just go to the website, menti.com, and enter the code that's at the top of the screen. And you should be brought to a page where you can start entering some words, whatever words come to mind when you hear innovation. So take a second to do that. Hopefully there are some answers coming in. Very good. Answers are coming in. Okay, so change, technology is on there, forward thinking. You can keep filling those in. Exciting, planning. Great. Change is the big one, growth, new, progress. This is great. So feel free to keep adding to those, and it'll keep populating, and we'll have that data. And so up on screen, I'm showing two different definitions of innovation. The first one is one that you might hear in business schools and product management. It's about new ideas that create value through efficiencies, through competition, through growth. And I think that first definition is really helpful because it pushes us to think about doing things better, being more effective, and adapting to change. But on its own, it can also feel a bit narrow, as if innovation only applies to technology or productivity. And then the second definition is grounded in more of a cooperative tradition. It reminds us that innovation isn't just about being faster or more competitive, but about living our values in new ways. So we have these two lenses, innovation as effectiveness and innovation as purpose. And I think credit unions sit at the intersection of both of those. So the challenge and the opportunity for all of us in this room is to innovate in ways that work and also innovate in ways that matter. And so in the remainder of this session, we'll be asking what innovation looks like when you're trying to serve members well, stay financially strong, and hold on to the cooperative values that really set credit unions apart. So now, I encourage you to turn to someone next to you and introduce yourself. Say where you're from if you don't know them already, and have a conversation about what innovation looks like within your organization. Hold up. And if you can please note anything down on sticky notes that you come up with. Did you get that, Sheila? Great. Great, thank you all. So much good conversation. That is a sign of, a great room. Hopefully you've jotted down you've captured some of that discussion on the sticky notes on your tables. And in the next activity, I will walk around and collect those. Which table got more than 5 ideas? Any table? This table? Collectively? Any more? Any tables get 10 ideas? Okay. You are a team. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully that has started your thinking about what innovation means in your organizations. If we can stop the conversation now, you'll have time to keep talking in a minute, but let's just bring it down. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. So the next and kind of bulkier activity is a design sprint. If any of you are familiar with this, it's kind of human-centered design thinking is where I'm borrowing this from. So I'll just walk you through the process, over the next 20-ish minutes, and then you'll get back to talking, don't worry. So each of your tables should have my chicken scratch writing of one of these 4 themes: collaboration, culture, technology, or products and services. And so that is the theme that your table will be focusing on. So forget everything else if you're focused on collaboration. For the next 20 minutes, all you're thinking about is collaboration. So you'll spend a few minutes at your table defining what the challenge is with collaboration, for example. And together as a table, you'll come up with a challenge statement. How might we? And so that, for example, how might credit unions share resources while maintaining their autonomy and community roots? Or for culture, how do we strengthen leadership capacity across the movement? But I trust that you have the real kind of sense of what the major challenges are. So you'll just pick one specific challenge to focus on within your theme. And then spend a few minutes either on your own or in conversation coming up with ideas. How might you solve that challenge? And after you do a bit of brainstorming and get a few different ideas of how to address that challenge, as a table, you'll pick one solution to really focus on and go into more detail on. So you'll want to understand, who does it help? Like this solution that you're discussing, who does it help? What makes it new? What will the outcome be? What might need to change within the status quo for it to become real? And then you'll synthesize all of that great thinking that you'll have done into a strategy statement. So the structure of that is up on the screen, but a strategy sentence is: we will do what by, however you're planning to do it, so that this outcome can be achieved. And so this, I'll leave this up on screen because it's a lot of steps, but I'm hoping that, I'll kind of float around the room, and I think Nick and Sheila can as well to answer questions. And then ideally, by the end of the 20 minutes, one person at your table will have scanned this different QR code and put your strategy sentence into Mentimeter, and then we'll be able to see what everyone's come up with all together. Does that, happy to answer? Yeah, any questions off the bat? Are we clear, or is it just going to be confusing? Pretty clear? So you have your theme on your table. You'll pick a key challenge that fits within that theme that you want to focus on, and then you're going to come up with one solution to that challenge and really get into some of the details of it. And you'll do that within your table. Sounds good. Be free. All right. I'm going to finish the voting. I can reopen it so you can keep looking at these over lunch, but we just want to see the results. Cool. So the most popular, if I can just have your attention one more minute, and then we'll be done. So the top result, the top strategy sentence, ding, 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 ding. We will collaborate between us to develop a new tech stack so that we won't waste years trying to achieve the same goals separately, to offer better access for our members, digitally competitive. That was the top one. Some other great results on building trust and collaborating together, working to develop streamlined products that align with credit union's purpose. This is fantastic. I'm very grateful for all of you joining me on this very rapid design sprint. I think there was so many ideas flowing. I think a lot of challenges identified. Happy. I'll come around and collect the sticky notes that you wrote on for kind of identifying examples of best practice in innovation within your organizations. And then hopefully this captures some of that great thinking that you've done over the last half hour. And so with that, I will hand back to Nick. Thank you.